Do this every Monday when something, some way to vent, some way to talk about this thing. And this is our avenue, man, every Monday. So you want to follow us, like us on social media, go ahead and hit us up on all four of our social media outlets. Of course, y'all know we're on Facebook Live right now, Facebook page, Twitter, and YouTube, and of course Instagram, and all with the same tab, Casual Sports, Kazual, with a Z at the end of the word sports. And of course, you can still download the mobile apps for Android and Apple right there on our website, www.ksrnaz.com. What be going on, my brother? Welcome back in.
Yeah, it's a weird thing when last week we both were like, "Hey, yo, we can't, I can't do it." No, me neither. So
Yeah,
we're
stuff
back at it,
comes
man.
up at the last minute, and it just alters things
The
sometimes.
world
So
may be shut down, but there's still stuff we got to do. So it's our
exactly,
our roles as dads. And by the way, happy Father's Day again to you, sir.
right, right. You too, bro, and all the dads out there. We don't really get a
Yes.
lot of recognition, so I usually call this Happy Tie and Sock Day. No, I'm just kidding. That's still the thought
Tie
that,
and
that
socks.
matters. That's all that really matters. I don't really care about getting any gifts and anything like that. But yeah, happy uh, related Father's Day to all the dads out there. Emphasis on dads, which in my opinion points to those that are actually doing what they're supposed to do.
Mm.
Even though the day covers all dads, but, but shout out to all those dads that hold it down and know exactly the meaning of the word. So,
Right.
um, but here we are again, man. Another day in this quarantine. Well, I can't say quarantine anymore. Another day in this. What do we
Quarant.
call it anymore?
I'm gonna
This
call it a quarant confusion.
yeah, this confusion that we are living in right now. It's getting worse, man. It's harder and harder to function in this thing. You don't know what's being said, what's truth, what's a lie, you have no idea.
Yeah.
And right now, it's man, I'm just looking at some of the stats from this thing spiking, how it's spiking right now. We went from 1,800 cases to now 52,000.
Yeah.
And you know what, dude? I'm not agreeing with this whole notion that people are coming up saying that this is all because they haven't been testing as much as they've been testing right now. I'm not agreeing with that. I think that's a little bit half the truth. I think that's like half the truth because the truth of the matter is we didn't see this big of a spike until those protests went down, and we didn't see this big of a spike until they opened up too early.
Mm.
That's what it comes down to. Let's not hide the situation, man. My stepson was here this weekend and came back, and he was like, because he came from Colorado and they're still shut down there, but he came back home here and he said, "Man, castles and coasters is open." I said, "Nah, it shouldn't be." He said, "It's wide open, bro,
Mm.
from the arcade to the ride." I said, "Are you kidding me?" That's why we're spiking the way we're spiking because we're reckless right now. Castles and coasters should not be open.
No, it should not be open.
That's crazy.
Here's another problem I have. So you know me, I'm the nerd out of the two of us, right? So
Or
the,
maybe.
no, definitely. The data has been jacked up since day one. So now you're adding data of the antibody tests are also now being included in this. There's not specific data on specific topics. It's now being lumped in an inappropriate way, in my opinion, that is making the numbers even worse. And that could be used for maybe political gain of these protests. You're going to shed a certain light on that and twist it that way, or opening too soon that way. There's a lot of factors that are going into this, but the data is so jacked up that we can't tell one way or another now if it was cause A, cause B, or cause C. So it's all jacked up. So I don't really know what to believe anymore. And kind of how I was saying on a friend's post that was talking about a nurse that there's encouragements in the hospital to mark deaths as COVID deaths if they're not. The data is jacked up, but our faith isn't in data anyway.
Correct.
Hang in there. We most of us have faith in something a little bit higher than our government or or a vaccine or what have you. So,
Well,
this is all just noise.
we can look up and know what's going on. But I mean, it is what it is.
Yeah.
I mean, where we are with all this spiking going up the way it is. I remember when we were talking about, oh, it's going to be a second wave of this thing. I think we're past the second wave.
Tidal waves here.
Like tidal freaking wave. Like it kind of reminds me. I mean, I've been kind of I don't like to say preaching, but I've been kind of saying this same thing since day one when this thing started. And that's no vaccine, no sports, no this, no not whatever. No vaccine. It is what it is.
Yeah.
I kind of been feel like Noah when God had him build the ark and he was trying to tell everybody what was coming and nobody wanted to get in that ark. They thought he was an idiot standing up there building this big old ark in the middle of a dang dry land. And all of a sudden, bam, the storm comes.
Earl, I'm sorry. I can't see you chasing down 2 rhinos and putting them in a boat.
Like that. I mean, although that's really jaded and that's really like 2 different way big. I mean, that's the magnitude of that Noah story. I know what it is, but I'm just saying when you think about it, we're sitting here saying we shouldn't come back. We shouldn't come back. But now everybody's complaining and everybody's bickering about I don't have to wear a mask and I don't have to do this. I can do whatever I want. But months before that, you were all crying about, oh, this thing could take us all out.
Right.
This thing, I got to protect my family and I got to protect myself. Now it's not, nobody cares anymore. So it just feels like the storm is coming. And if this ain't a sign of it, my goodness, 52,000 people in this state. I mean, it's like, come on now, something's got to get your attention. But,
and God's going to say, Earl, I'm going to need you to gather 31 of every NFL fan. And you're like, but Lord, what about? No, not the Dallas Cowboys, Earl. You don't need to get one of those fans. You can just leave them out.
I knew you was going to lead on something crazy with that. But everybody has their own, I guess, you're on your own pretty much. You're going to be in control of your own family. I mean, you can protect them. You can do whatever.
Yeah.
If you want to go out and protest, you want to go out and say you don't have to wear a mask. That's all. I mean, everybody has their own. They can do whatever they want to do, I guess. It's a free country. But if I don't know what this thing is, I'm still gonna exercise some caution, man.
Absolutely.
I am. That's just me, protecting mine. But then of course the protest and all of the racial thing that's going on right now adds to it and opened up another avenue where now you have to be conscious of that going on. So, but this world is crazy, man. It's really weird. It's getting out a little bit unpredictable to a point where you're like, what's next?
And what's hard about it now is, especially in this day and age, is it's not just what's happening around us that's crazy. It's that everyone's opinions about anything is coming out.
Right.
Pick a fast food chain could make a chicken sandwich and everyone loses their minds or hates it.
Right.
There's opinions everywhere.
Everywhere.
You can't escape people's opinions anymore. You can't just hole yourself in a wall and just, duck for cover and not listen to anything anymore. It's
many freaking conspiracy theories.
There's a conspiracy. A C-O-N conspiracy.
You had that queued up. Look at you. You came back ready.
I look over at it. I said, oh, yeah, I just said that. So it was just happened to be right there on my board. But, yeah, I had it in my sound thing up here that's always on the screen. But, yeah, it's so many conspiracies going on right now. So many of them. Who really knows what's going on? All you can do is take care of you and yours and follow common sense. And that's one thing that's starting to lack a lot right now. Common sense. If there's no vaccine, why would you open up castles and coasters?
Because the concessions are too good. You can't miss out on that on that stale popcorn.
Let's do what we do, man.
What's going on? What's going on? Yeah, what's going on? What's going on?
In the casual house.
Well, of course, today was I think the final vote on the labor dispute for MLB to getting back to work, and the players union and the players blasted down this vote. 35-5 was the vote. I mean, they were like, are you kidding me? The players, to me, are hell-bent on getting this thing to file that grievance. So they don't really care what the hell. I mean, MLB. I mean, the owners could have gave them almost everything, they still would have turned it down.
Yeah, they're not looking too good right now.
Yeah, they're just hell bent on getting that grievance thing going. But now, just recently tonight, of course, you got the news, right?
It's a 60-game proposal. Well, not necessarily a proposal. It's more of a July 1st. This is what's going to happen. 60 games, and it sounds like that's going to get accepted. But still waiting to hear back on that. There's a lot of people that are hearing that the MLB Players Association is leaning towards saying yes to this 60-game season starting around July 1st. Has to have safety conditions in place, obviously. But the MLB has been dragging their feet. The MLB and the MLB Players Association, let's not lie, because the players are saying, tell us when and where. And, okay, I'm trying to tell you when and where, but you're still shooting it down. So the MLB has not looked good from the jump here, and they have had the most to lose. The NFL isn't scared.
Right.
The NBA isn't scared. The MLB has the most to lose here, and they're just watching this happen. It's insane to me.
That report that you just gave for July 1st, is that Manfred's pretty much forcing it now?
Yeah, it's the wording is impose a 60-game season, and if Webster's dictionary would define impose, it's definitely not optional. It's to force.
Exactly.
I'm sorry, not Webster, but Google says force something unwelcome or unfamiliar to be accepted or put in place.
Which is exactly what the players want them to do anyway.
Tell us what to do.
I mean, they force it, so by the time they come back, they can file that grievance and try to get the money that they lost out on. But when you look at this whole thing, I posed this question to Ed online, Ed and Jay, when we were talking about this earlier. And if you were the judge in this grievance, as both sides negotiated any good faith, I mean, who do you vote for? Who would you side with in a grievance? So how can a grievance, in my opinion, be something you holding out to do when you didn't negotiate in good faith that's going to prove that you deserve what you're trying to get?
If I'm the judge, I'm finding a way to give the fans money. Everyone gets a penny. I'm sorry, guys. These two knuckleheads screwed it up.
Yeah,
Knuckleheads is what they are.
I mean, it shouldn't have never got this far, man. I mean, I look at this whole thing and I was like, the situation should have been the easy way to dictate the compromise in this whole thing.
Yeah.
The situation that what was going on should have easily dictated a great compromise from both sides. So
they had the most time.
Yeah,
they had the most writing on it.
Yeah, if the NBA can do this and their season got chopped.
Yeah. And they're just trying to finish for the fans and for whatever. Probably for some money too, let's not lie, but they're just trying to see it end. Let's just get this thing to end. Maybe bump their season late a little bit next year to kind of get out of NFL's shadow too. There's some other motivations there, but they're at least trying. What's the MLB doing? Bickering over money. It doesn't look good.
They should have got this far, in my opinion. I think that the people that are running this thing are the ones that are making it hard for everybody else. I mean, in particular, some of these agents. What the dude, Scott, what's his name? Scott Boris? One of the two. I don't know.
Yeah, Boris.
I mean, guys are just jumping in this thing that shouldn't be involved. I mean, they should be involved, but only with their player, of course, or their players that they're representing, but not jumping in and trying to add some fuel to a fire. It's
that's because
crazy.
the agents make money off this too. I mean, the agents are walking around like this.
Bob, but my name's Billy. It doesn't matter what your name is.
You're not the one playing. It doesn't matter. Sit down.
But you got to point that toward the player, though, because the player has to still understand that agent works for them. They don't have to listen to the guy.
That's true.
They don't have to listen to the guy that doesn't have any clue, that's trying to control the whole thing from the outside. They don't have to listen to that guy. How about listening to yourself and see what's right inside yourself and say, you know what, I'm going to just stick to blah, blah, X, Y, Z or whatever and think about the fans and think about this situation, the COVID-19 situation, and know that, okay, I got to compromise somewhere.
Right.
Not get everything. I mean, come on, everybody's losing. Everybody's going to lose something in this whole thing. But
Attitude reflect leadership, Captain.
That one's still too quiet. I gotta fix that one.
yeah, that is real quiet.
Attitude reflect leadership, Captain.
It's like leadership. All right. Other things happening, of course, we can talk about. Hard Knocks has got the LA teams, not just one team
That's
this
a
year.
terrible choice.
Terrible.
Terrible.
LA.
California's not even gonna let themselves open. What are you doing?
Rams and Chargers are going to be playing in their new stadium.
No, they're not. There's no locker room to walk into. They're not even gonna let them set the field. They're gonna be playing here.
Well.
So Hard Knocks is coming to Arizona, basically, is what we just
basically,
realized.
basically.
Terrible.
Yeah.
Ugh.
So I don't know where that choice came from. I think they thought that would be, I guess, riveting with two teams. I guess. I don't know.
Exciting, California.
But what players or storylines are for these two teams, other than that they play together in the same city? I mean, what other storyline is there?
Yeah, unless you drum up something like walking by each other in the stadium and two players getting a fight. I don't know. What is exciting about this? Just that.
One thing's for sure, though, we'll probably be getting a good look at Hard Knocks, get a little bit more, exposure, not exposure, but a little bit more hype, because the Chargers have been said that they might be working out Colin Kaepernick.
There is some buzz there, but they're
They're
trying
the
to
thing
headline
that
Herbert.
gets- Say, oh, Hard Knocks. Maybe that's a Hard Knocks thing. Maybe that's something they put together to try to build up Hard Knocks a little bit more. I don't know. Maybe.
I mean, but that's still so much
the other
speculation.
conspiracy is out there. Why not?
You know what? Kaepernick might be better off playing for the Rams.
you know. I don't know, but I don't really. You know what? To be honest with you, Hard Knocks has been around for a while now, right?
Yeah.
I have never watched a live episode of not one episode of Hard Knocks.
No, me neither.
Never.
I just get the clips.
I've always seen the clips here. Maybe, the last time I remember even giving Hard Knocks any type of my attention was when Ocho Cinco was getting cut.
that was a big one.
Last time I remember going, oh, that was pretty cool. He was sitting in the office and he got cut because of he did something stupid, and Joe Philbin from the Dolphins cut him.
Yeah.
That was the last time I really paid attention to Hard Knocks. Every year of that, when that show goes by, I don't pay attention to it, and I have the cable, the HBO, and all this. I can watch it if I wanted to. I've never showed interest in it at all.
I kind of liked what brought me into anything was the All or Nothing series with the Cardinals, obviously, but I liked how that one was narrated and directed a little bit differently.
Right.
So I kind of don't lean towards the Hard Knocks when it comes to All or Nothing or Hard Knocks.
Well,
I don't know.
Well, they're going to look for some storylines, and Kaepernick would definitely be a storyline, that's for sure.
Yeah, there's no denying that.
We got some other NFL news, contract dispute going on between the Jets and Jamal Adams, and he wants out of New York. Good safety, too.
He listed 2 NFC West teams on his list. There was 2.
Really?
There was 2. It was the Niners and the Seahawks.
If that's the case, then why is the Cowboys the front runner till they talking about getting it?
All about Texas, man, that property tax. Or was it the real estate tax? Something about taxes. I don't understand it. I'm not an adult yet.
Yeah, but he's having an issue with the Jets reaching a long-term contract extension.
Doesn't everyone have an issue with the Jets? I mean, why can't they ever get it right?
But a lot of guys are doing this, entering the final year of the season of their contract, or their rookie contract, and they want to get it all reconstructed. Everybody's doing that now.
Takes the pressure off.
Yeah. So whoever gets him in a trade will have control of him for 2 years. Plus maybe as a franchise tag, maybe 3 years.
That's true.
So that's not a bad deal. Whoever can come up with the cheese is going to take to get this guy, because this guy is no joke. This is like the top safety in the league.
Yeah.
Pretty
It's about as good as it gets right there.
Yeah, that's his man. That's like, what is the value on this guy? I mean,
It's big.
75 tackles, 6.5 sacks, forced fumbles, fumble recovery, interception, 2 defense touchdowns. I mean, the dude is a ball hog.
Yeah,
And then he's playing on that team doing all of that.
that's true.
You imagine putting him on a winner?
He added recently, as far as 2 days ago, the Buccaneers onto that list. And he goes to the Buccaneers because that defense is not just the offense, but that defense is starting to look pretty nice. You got
Sometimes you can overstack a team.
you can.
Like we've seen it. We've seen it. How many times we've seen it in the NBA? We've seen it in every sport.
We might have it here this year with our own team.
Exactly. You can overstack a team to the point where all those egos have to work and they just can't. Look at the Rams. I mean, although they
Total
did get to where that goal was, but that
Imploded.
defense never, ever looked dominant to me. They never got there. It never got there.
No, especially not when the moves were happening in the offseason and you're thinking, this is going to challenge for one of the best defenses that ever existed. And it flopped.
But also the NBA, man, one team has already arrived in Orlando.
Who's that?
Toronto Raptors. They are already kicking it in the hotels at Disney, ready to roll. Like,
Right.
okay, this thing is actually going down.
Went down Splash Mountain a couple times already.
They are already at the spot. Like, go ahead and test us. We ready. So, I mean, this thing is going down. It's going to go down. I like what Mark Cuban said. Mark Cuban said something earlier in the week that this bubble that the NBA is going to be playing is probably, now when you see all this stuff spiking the way it is and all over the place, that's probably the safest place in America to be right now.
It might be, considering all of the valuable commodities that are going to be there. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm like, okay, so now the NBA is set. They got their thing. They ready to roll, man. So I'm pretty sure all this week teams are going to start trickling in left and right. But
this is just weird. The things that we're getting excited for some terrible sloppy basketball inside of an inflatable bubble. I mean, what is going on?
About that the other day, I was thinking about that when the hype dies down and you have nothing but the basketball to depend on. That's going to be hard to. Will it hold up? Because
I don't know.
Because think about it. Look at all these players that are already starting. It's not a lot of them yet, but they're going to be a lot more players that are going to back out and not want to play. Like, of course, this
David Bertans,
from Washington because of a contract issue. Trevor Ariza because of a child custody time. I mean, things are going to start coming up. Lesser players now, but what happens when those bigger names start to say, "I'm not coming"? Now you've got a watered down league and a watered down championship. Now you talking. There's a chance the Suns might have a chance to run some noise.
Well, they needed that. They needed Oubre to come.
Missing all their key pieces and team missing key bench pieces. That's why they're going out into free agency trying to fill those little spots because you don't know how this basketball is going to look. This basketball is probably going to be bad basketball for a while.
Yeah, but we haven't had basketball since March. So we don't really even know what it is anymore. We don't even know. I mean, short of watching The Last Dance, that's about the best basketball we've seen this whole thing. So we might not really know what good basketball is anymore. We might just take what we have, and the reincarnation of the replacements is going to be playing out onto the court. So who knows?
Well, we did see the horse, didn't we? That's not basketball earlier?
That's me getting up and leaving.
Oh, man.
Oh, no, that doesn't count. Horse doesn't count.
All right, well, I hope the basketball can measure up, man. But
there are only 8. The interesting part about the free agency side, there's only 8 teams that have open roster spots that are eligible in this bubble. Clippers, Grizzlies, Kings, Nuggets, Spurs, Suns, Thunder, Trailblazers.
And that can change if guys decide not to show up. That can change if guys during the time that they're there happen to get COVID-19.
Right.
After, I mean, those things are all still wide open.
Yeah, you could get it on the plane going to the bubble and then
They
infect the whole
travel.
bubble.
So it's like, okay, somebody's going to bring this thing. Somebody's gonna have to be quarantined. It's gonna happen.
Mm.
And for them to think they can do this thing flawlessly with nobody ends up getting, I mean, come on. You talk about the Disney workers are coming and going. They're leaving home and coming back, leaving and going and coming back. Somebody's going to be bringing this thing in there somehow.
You think the NBA is bluffing this whole time? Just trying to get MLB to do something first? We're going to do it. We got a bubble. We got a spot. We're going to do it.
I don't know. I think the NBA had their stuff made up way, way before then. They were. I mean, Adam Silver and them were contemplating what they were going to do when the season ended.
Seems like it.
They were in that negotiating room like, let's figure this thing out and find something that we got to do, because they didn't sit back like MLB sitting back and wait till the last second and now all this negotiating going on and you can't come up with an agreement.
It just seems like it's something's going to happen and just derail this whole thing. I can't tell what it's going to be, but
I don't think you get a team that comes down to Orlando already and tell them, no, go back home.
Summer vacation. You want to be in Toronto right now? No, I'd rather be in Florida.
Toronto right now, probably at this moment, are all being tested. They have to stay in their room for what they said the first 3 days. They have to stay in their rooms, stay quarantined for 3 days. So they're doing their thing. They're getting it out the way, because guess what? They're going to be probably the first team that can get on that dang practice court too.
That's true.
So there goes the advantage. Every team should be trying to get here as fast as they could to get that advantage, and that team is doing it.
Yeah.
Who knows? Who knows how this thing's going to look or how it's going to turn out in the end? But
it's going to be weird.
Let's just hope it give us some good basketball throughout the duration of the whole thing. But we'll see. But let's take a quick break here. Give a word to our sponsors, and when we come back, we got some announcements through the Bird Gang. We got some announcements, and we also going to talk our leader, Kyler Murray, standing bold in the whole thing, man, and taking charge. Love it. Stick around, Bird Gang. We'll be right back. Casual Sports Show, Earl Burnett, Sean McConnell, KSRNAZ.com.
Take a little break, but we'll be back in a while, so don't nobody go nowhere.
The end zone. Edmonds has a Cardinal touchdown. He's got 2 to
Your sports news and the best shows daily. Tune into the best internet station on the web.
Little jump shot is good. It's an 8-0.
Pollock leading off the second against Ross Stripley.
And a drive to left. That ball's got a chance, and that ball will fly out of here. Number 6.
KSRN Casual Sports Radio Network. Subscribe today.
KSRN Network, and we are working hard and working around the clock to keep you some fresh content during quarantine. But we all have a part, in case you forgot.
It's really pretty basic. Wash your hands often and well with soap and water. Cover your cough every time, and stay home when you're sick. Also, if you've recently traveled to a country like China where this novel coronavirus is spreading and you have symptoms, it's really important for you to call your doctor or your healthcare provider to let them know not only about your symptoms, but your travel history.
So let's do these steps that are necessary to keep us all safe, not only just in Arizona, but around the world. Follow the lines of the CDC and all the medical professionals. You're listening to the Casual Sports Radio Network.
Hi, this is Ed Smith, host of the Easy Sports Talk Show. In addition to hosting the show every Saturday, did you know I'm also an inspirational and motivational speaker? Utilizing life experience in my 15-year professional sports career, I offer programs to a wide variety of audiences. Tips from the locker room to the boardroom and beyond. Whether you're a corporate executive, sports organization, or faith-based organization, Ed Smith Speaks can customize a team-building, motivational, an inspirational program to fill your needs. I love to come inspire and motivate your group to create lifelong shining moments. To learn more about booking me for your event, visit edsmithspeaks.com or contact me directly at info@edsmithspeaks.com.
You are listening to the best internet radio station on the web, KSRN, Arizona.
This is Cliff Kingsbury, and you're listening to the second best sounding voice in the Valley, Casual E, on the Casual Sports Show here on KSRN, Arizona.
All right, welcome back to the Casual House, Bird Gang, Suns Nation, and all you sports fans out there. Got some announcements here that we're going to go through in a second, but just want to touch bases on that NASCAR thing real quick, man.
Yeah.
We didn't mention that earlier in what we could talk about. That was pretty awesome what they did, how they backed up Bubba Watson and how they pushed his car there, and the whole unity of the whole thing kind of felt really good. It's like to finally start to see some things making a turn. I'm not gonna say they're there yet because we're far from where we got to be at.
Right.
But they're starting to make some inroads, some change, a little by little.
And NASCAR of all places, which is predominantly not a one side. They're definitely one side of a coin. I'm just going to put it that way.
That's
fan base and athlete alike. So to see this support and to see this kind of camaraderie and it's just awesome to see, because if NASCAR can do it, everyone should be able to do it. That's just kind of how I view that.
Right. But man, that was a really bad thing that took place for that to happen like that. I mean, of course we know the whole thing is, as a whole, racism is bad. Period. It is what it is. But to see somebody that can be a coward and leave something like that, leaving that type of message, that's a really threatening message, pretty much.
Yeah, I mean, it's unforgivable.
Yeah, and hopefully, their investigation can figure out, how that went down and who's responsible for that. You'd be surprised at what they can find out, FBI wise. I was watching that documentary on the dude that stole Brady's jersey on the Super Man. That is an interesting documentary. I'm like, how the heck did they find that dude? And they just camera here, camera there. I mean, places here, places there. Next thing you know, that's the dude right there. Let's go get him. It was like, wow. So hopefully they can find this guy.
Big Brother's watching, man.
And you know what? I'm really hoping that it's not somebody within his own circle.
Yeah, that's what we were talking about beforehand.
Yeah, we'll have access to the NASCAR freaking locker room. I mean, come on now. So let's just hope not nobody within the circle. But anyway, let's go ahead and get these announcements out for the Bird Gang and do what we do.
Ladies and gentlemen, can I please have your attention? I've just been handed an urgent Bird Gang news story. And I need all of you to stop what you're doing and listen. And listen. And listen.
All right, this ain't nothing you guys don't already know, because I'm pretty sure everybody's pretty much glued to their Facebook page nowadays, bored out of their wits, so they gotta know what's going on. But the 27th of this month, of course, is the Eno Benjamin's autograph signing going down at the Paradise Valley Mall, and I'm still in my back of my mind going, why is that place open? But anyway, but they will be there. Benjamin will be out there to get autographs, to sign autographs for the fans, and of course, the social distancing is in effect.
Yeah, don't get Eno sick, okay?
He will not be taking pictures with any fans. So just so you know, don't come with a camera thinking you're going to get a picture with the guy, because you're not.
You can do it like 6 feet away selfie.
Maybe I don't know. From what I'm being told,
no pictures.
Strict.
As it should be. If Eno gets the Rona, I'm gonna be mad, man.
It goes down on the 27th at 2 p.m. So get your tickets. Come down to the mall and meet from a distance, Benjamin. If you haven't already met him, because he already lives here and he was an ASU running back. So if you ever And also later in August, Larry Fitzgerald's going to be having a autograph signing.
Whew.
Maybe his last one as far as being a Cardinal. Who knows?
The
I don't
GOAT.
think so, but his is coming up in August sometime. We will give you the dates on that when we get the date, but it'll be late end of August, somewhere around there. His autograph signing. Also, it is official. KSRN has partnered with CASA. We are officially partners now, and they are going to be working side by side with us as we with them, as well us with them, to do events into the community and let everybody get aware of what's going on in our court system when it comes to the foster system, children that are in need. Props goes out to Christine Slomsky. I hope I said that right. But she has finally, we got all the documents done, everything's done. So from this day forward, you'll see CASA and KSRN working together for the court-appointed special advocates, which is CASA. And what they do, of course, they are the voice for those abused kids that are in the court system that have nobody that can speak for them. So
I dropped their Facebook page in the comments too, so you guys can go and give them a follow and keep up to date with them too. It's important stuff.
Yes, it is. And you'll start to figure it out as we go how important it is, because we're going to be pumping their stuff out left and right. And we're going to be getting Christine to come in here at some point to really give you some insight about it. But by the time we finish, we're going to know a whole lot about what's going on. Even we already know our court system is already kind of jacked up to begin with.
That's true.
But here we are. We got opportunity to go in there and try to do some things to help out and help it. So also, the Above Par Network is doing an event coming up July 25th, a ways away from now, but it's a dang good event that we're going to be having. Christy Rodriguez, I know who y'all know who she is. I think she's part owner in that situation. I'm not sure. I could be wrong.
She's everywhere, man.
She's everywhere. But that event that's going to be coming up on the 25th is a golf club event. It's a club event, so it's going to be. This organization helps all businesses to some degree. If you're having issues trying to build your business and build things, the way business go, what are you missing? You want some insight from other business owners. Christy does a heck of a job with this network. So, and I believe Greg Sturfy, I think that's his name. I'm pretty sure Jay and them can let me know that. I'll get that name correct next time we put this out. But this is just a filler of it for the first time. But I'll give you guys some more updates about it as I get updates from it. But it's a heck of a good event coming up for Above Par Network. So if you're in business for yourself, you don't want to miss that. And that's what's going on in the Bird Gang for now, until we get some more information down the road, of course. That's what's going down.
Staying busy.
All right, man. Yeah, exactly. That's what we have to try to do, is stay busy. Okay. Cardinal news. Over the weekend, I'm sitting there trying to find every avenue I can find to find out what's going on. Has this dang on mini camp that Kyler called out, is it going down or is it not going down? And I was not able to find any information about it over the weekend, but just today some stuff trickled in and kind of gave you an understanding of, okay, that changes it. But question is, did the NFLPA shut them down? That was the question.
Right.
It felt like that because listen to the advisory they sent out. Please be advised that it is our consensus medical opinion that in the light of the increase of COVID-19 cases in certain states, that no players should be engaged in practicing together in private workouts. Pretty specific. That's pretty blunt, straightforward.
Yeah, once again, killing the Cardinals right in the face.
You think maybe they got word of that and go, okay, I got to shut it down, because Kyler put up $40,000 for this thing already. The thing has already been organized, and you can't just throw away a dude's money like that, can you?
I guess so. The NFLPA is going to do what they want to do. There's an article up on azcardinals.com that I put in our comment section that if people want to read more about it, it's it's just a gut punch, man. Come on. One thing we want to see is we want to see Murray throw into Hopkins in the off season. I don't care if they're wearing basketball shorts, spandex, or soccer cleats. I want to see some catches, man. I need to see some football. Come on. Help me out.
One of the followers here, Mike here, is asking a question. He said, has there been any thing released like I was just talking about K1 and the guys? And there has been something released, Mike, or Irv, I should say, my bad. It's not a release as far as, definitively that we're doing this is going down, but it is a little bit of evidence. DeAndre Hopkins put out something. He's in his car, and he just entered into Dallas, Texas. So put the two and two together. Hey, it's still going down as far as I'm concerned. Still going down. I mean, you don't let a man put up $40,000 and just say, no, sorry, can't do it. So
yeah.
Maybe just go ahead and do it on their own and see what happens.
Pay
but
the
I'm
fine
pretty sure
later.
you have to exercise some serious restraint as far as, social distancing goes. How on earth is that going to work out? You have to have somebody organizing this thing. Somebody has to be pretty much face-to-face almost talking to these guys, or these guys talking with each other. They're going to be meals, they're going to be hotels and all these things. How do they not come in contact with each other? So I don't know how Kyler's going to run that. I'm pretty sure whatever he spent $40,000 on, he pretty much
he built his own bubble, man.
Huh?
He built his own bubble.
Yeah, exactly.
It's got to be
had
it.
Something done. He had to. So,
Or it's all hand sanitizer. $40,000 in hand sanitizer. It's a Mr. system.
No, it's still going down. So it's going down. And it needs to go down. I don't think the NFL should be jumping in and trying to stop something like that because, I mean, they've already missed a lot of work together, period. And, I mean, at some point, that team needs to get together. Another thing about this whole thing, that the 20 guys, all skill players, no offensive line, it's all the skill guys. All 8 or 9 receivers, 4 running backs, all the tight ends, all these skill guys, and the backup, all 4 quarterbacks are there. So they're going to be reps from like first team, second team. I mean, I would imagine he's just going to structure it as though like it's a mini camp and structure it that way. But of all those guys that he brought down there, a lot of talk is starting to build up. I mean, had Drake on NFL Network, and I was listening to him talking. He's like, man, I love how we look on paper, and we look this boom, boom. And I'm like, okay, here we go. They start that hype train, and it's like, okay, I'm hoping that the leader that Kyler is starting to form into can wheel that back in a little bit, because that's the last thing we need right now is everybody thinking they're all whatever, So let me check something here real quick. Damn, we got a lot of people hitting me up. So, yeah, I'm going to, we got a little mishap jump off. My man got to jump out of here for a second, but I'm going to go ahead and finish this thing out. But, yeah, so hopefully Kyler as the leader can go ahead and wheel that thing on hype train back in. He's already started to show a lot of that anyway, because over the weekend, of course, there was an interview with Kyler, and he did a lot of talking about team, about camaraderie, about, leadership, and all these things he was talking about. But the main thing that stuck out to me at the end of that conversation was they asked him, was he going to kneel? And I know this has been causing a whole bunch of rift throughout social media, a whole bunch of rift throughout, even through the Bird Gang, even through the followers of the Cardinal fans, a rift about is he going to kneel or not. And Kyler just made it clear that he's going to be doing it. He's going to kneel. Now that, to me, getting away from the reason of he's kneeling and all those that's a totally different conversation. But I love how the leadership of, I'm not going to beat around the bush. I'm going to get it out there, because you're always going to figure out who's going to follow you, who's with you, who's not with you when you come right out and stand on something. Just ask Colin Kaepernick. So he came right out, let it be known, this is what I'm going to do, and he did it boldly. He didn't kind of beat around the bush with no PR statement, nothing like that. He did it boldly, and that's what I love about it. So I know there's going to always cause rips. I mean, nobody's going to be satisfied. We know that. This is the world we live in. You can't satisfy everybody. Somebody's going to always not agree. But he, like everybody else, he has the right to, stand on what he wants to stand on. And he's going to stand on kneeling during the national anthem. Now, the question is going to be, as a team, is that going to be something as a team that they do? I'm not sure, but we'll see going forward. But I just love how he took the reins and says, as a leader, he's standing on something. So we'll see how that plays out later. Where are we going with this thing? Also, he got a lot of backlash from a lot of fans too, which is kind of understandable. What's going down here on social media here for a second? Oh, there we go. All right. But we'll see. But I'm so glad those guys are getting together out there. They definitely have to start ironing out all the timing and all the the things that it takes. And I'm glad every guy is there. That's what's really key. That it wasn't just one guy. So now we got to wait for XYZ to come, and then we'll put it back together. We'll see how it works when they get here. No, it's everybody at once, and now they can pretty much figure out how they're going to roll when they get in a real game or in preseason or training camp or whatever what have you. But I love it that it's finally going down, and I'm hoping that they will give us some insight, a little bit of video here maybe. So far, Kyler's been really, 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 really quiet with it. So I'm not sure if he's going to give media or anybody any type of, any type of leeway into what's going on that field. As when it's all said and done, I think it's only supposed to be for 4 days. It was supposed to start Sunday. I'm not sure if they actually did something on Sunday, but all I know is that DeAndre Hopkins, I don't know if that was Instagram or whatever it was, he put that picture out. That was this morning. So maybe he just arrived this morning, or was that a picture from last night? I have no idea. I don't know anything about what's going on with that. They could have probably already started on Sunday. And so he said it was going to go down all the way till Wednesday. So we'll see how that goes. But rest assured, your Cardinals are working together to try to be, the best they can be going into this season. And that is exciting. It's exciting to finally get to see something starting out. Something's getting going. Something's going. But let's wheel back in that hype train a little bit, because we get caught up in that bad boy. We know how that thing can turn out. But anyway, what's left in this show? We got about 12 minutes or so here, and I'm going to dip into maybe see if I can find what happens in this day in history. What took place on June 22nd, this day in history. Is there anything that we can look back on? Now that my man is gone here, I got to kind of scramble here a little bit and look at a few things. So give me a second here.
Sports Almanac. What we're going to do right here is go back, way back into time. That's just 5 seconds left in the game. Do you believe in miracles? Yes! Get ready to touch it down, boy. Get ready to touch it down, boy. Back down memory lane. It's Lillard. He got the shot off. Lillard got it! And the Blazers win the series! I remember it vividly. Here comes Richardson. Here's the throw for Markakis. Richardson is safe. Derek Jeter ends his final game with a walk-off single. Derek Jeter.
This is it. I remember.
Sports Almanac.
All right, on this day in June 22nd, a lot went down on this day. That's baseball centered pretty much, and a few basketball things here. So let's see. I don't like to go back too far, 18s and 1903s and all those things. But anyway, Larry Holmes, TK's Mike Weaver in a 12-round heavyweight boxing title. This Mike Weaver dude looks really crazy looking. Okay, so Larry Holmes was getting his career going around that time. The great tennis player John McEnroe. Can't be serious. This is the day of his "you can't be serious" rant when the umpire called his ball out. He just went ballistic in Wimbledon. So that's John McEnroe. I'm pretty sure everybody remember that. Pete Rose gets his 3,772nd hit, moves past Aaron into second place on this day back in 1982. I still think he should be back in baseball somehow, but that's just my opinion. I don't know much about that whole thing, but I still think he should get a second chance out of all the things that people have been getting second chances for. Let's see. The longest game in Toronto, the Blue Jays and Yankees, 8-7, went 15 innings on this day. One of the longest games. I don't think that's the longest anymore. Back then it was. But it's 1990. What else? 1994, 48th NBA championship. Houston Rockets beat the New York Knicks 4-3 in the I think that was a lockout year. And that was one of the worst championships ever because it had an 8-seed New York Knicks team in it. So that tells you how much the Rockets were, I guess, that better. They would end up in a 7-game series with the New York Knicks. It was a pretty bad-looking series, but it is what it is. But that's what went down in 1994 on this date. The Rockets ended that series. And that was also probably John Stark's worst day in history because 2 for 18 shooting the basketball. Wow. And they just kept giving it to him, and then his teammates the whole game were telling him, keep shooting. All shooters can do is keep shooting. You don't let a guy that's shooting that bad in a game 7 for a championship keep shooting. No way. But 1996, Michael Moorer beats Alex Schultz in an 11-round bout, IBF heavyweight boxing title. A lot of stuff going down on this date. Mickelson, of course, golf U.S. Open, 2009. He wins that. 2017 NBA Washington point guard Markelle Fultz, first pick in the Philadelphia 76ers. Which reminds me, when is the NBA going to put their draft? Because it was supposed to be around this time. So now that's going to be something else we're going to talk about later down the line. Birthdays today, not many to speak on. And that's what's going down in history for June 22nd. A lot's going down, which was pretty cool to look back on. But that is going to do it for my time here, guys. Thank you for coming in to being and watching listening to another edition of the Casual Sports Show. I will catch you guys next week, and we will try to get what's going down with the bubble over there at the NBA. Stick around. Next week, trying to be back. Peace out, y'all.